Hey, it's Troy with Silver Fox in Mexico, and 2026 is rapidly approaching. And today we're going to talk about the temporary and permanent residency requirements and fees in Mexico. Every year, the residency requirements go up because it's tied to the minimum wage. And ever since President AMLO and now President Sheinbaum have been in office, there have been increases in the minimum wage. Thus, they're going to have increases in the income requirements for the temporary and permanent residents. So I'm going to go ahead and show you first the requirements for the residency requirements, and then I'll pause the video, put up a new whiteboard here, and show you what the fees are. And you're going to want to stick around for the fees because it's going to be a shocker. It's a huge increase. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to go with temporary first, and there's two different ways you can qualify, either monthly or investments. The new fee for monthly is, and as you're going to be in dollars, is $5,250 per month, okay? And that's either for employment or a pension, and you need at least 6 months of bank statements showing that money going in there. The other way you can do it is with investments, and that's how I qualified in August 2021, and that's gone up to $87,500. Now let me just give you a quick pause here. So when I did it in August 2021, the requirements were $27,500 at the Detroit consulate, and as you can see, that's a pretty big increase in just a few years. For permanent, you're looking at $8,750 per month, or with investments, you need a total of $350,000. Okay, and with the investments, what you need is 12 months of bank statements, and you need to have the minimum deposit or balance showing at $350,000 or $87,500. So in the last 12 months, if you have a month that's less than that, they're not going to count that. Okay, so it's really important that you have those numbers above it. Now, something to keep in mind is we're going to use with these numbers is the exchange rate for the dollar is currently going to be, we're using 18 to 1 because it's really close to that, and that's what the statements are going to be. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to look at that, and I will pause the video and we'll get into the requirements. Okay, so let's talk about the fees. Here you go. Don't be shocked. Might want to put your seatbelt on for this. For the first year, so they offer 4 different years of temporary residency for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. Most people get the 1 year, and then after the 1 year, they renew for 3. That's what I did. I got my first year, then came back, renewed it for 3 years. My 3 years are coming due in when? January 2026, and I'll explain about my situation at the end of this. All right, so first year, these are going to be, I'm going to round these really to the nearest number, so it's going to be off a few dollars here or there. So it's $600 for the 1 year. For 2 years, it's $910. For 3 years, $1,150, and for the 4 year, it's $1,370. Now, if you're going to permanent, which is what I'm doing in January, it is double, same as the temporary. They're double from what they are currently right now this month. Unfortunately for me, when you go from a temporary to a permanent, you're only allowed to renew into a permanent from a temporary 30 days before the expiration date. Well, my expiration date is, I believe, January 26th, 2026. However, the immigration offices in Mexico shut down from January 20th and don't open back up to January 4th. So even if I wanted to get an appointment and get it done early, I can't do it. I'm basically pushed into January and will have to pay these new fees. So what are they? So just to get your Kanye, it's $740. And then to transition from the temporary to permanent, that's $190. And the total here is $930. And I'll give you a second to take a look at that. So again, these doubled, and I did put out a video about 3 or 4 months ago saying that they would probably double. A lot of people told me I was crazy. There's no way that they were going to double them. I looked at it this way. This is coming through the Mexican Congress. It was going to be signed by President Sheinbaum. Temporary and permanent residents don't vote. They don't have the ability to vote. It's pretty easy to raise fees on them because you have a choice. Either pay the fee or go home. So obviously, if you want to stay in Mexico, you have to pay the fee. Yeah, that's the fee that I have to do. So now I'm adjusting some expenditures I was going to do for early next year because I wasn't planning on having a big, huge increase like that. I was really planning for it right around $450. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe it and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you know somebody who's thinking about moving to Mexico, please share this video because I think it's really important for people to know what they're getting into beforehand, especially I think a lot of people are going to be shocked at how much the fees have gone up dramatically. And one final point is that when you use these numbers I gave you, you need to take into consideration one really important thing. And that is the consulates in the United States. Each of them is like their own little kingdom. So you can find a consulate that might be a little bit lower, they might be higher. And so if your friend says, hey, I got mine done in Detroit, which is where I got mine done, the numbers were much lower than my friend in Miami. Yeah, because they set different ones. They can interpret it however they want to, and you really don't have a say. I will give you some advice that if you find yourself in a situation where you don't qualify or it's very difficult to produce the documents that they want, then call around and try to find a different consulate who might be a little more lenient on the terms. Okay? I'll see you in the next one and have a great day.